The 14th Goldfish. Written by Jennifer Holm. This book contains no illustrations. When teachers are looking at books, it's important to know what type of reader should be reading those books. For this particular book, the middle grades are going to be interested in it, so anywhere between 4th and 8th grade. The Lexile level for this book is at a 550L, which is about a 3rd grade level, and the ATOS is 4.1. This book starts with a typical 11-year-old, Ellie, who is nervous about starting middle school. Since kindergarten, Ellie has had a pet goldfish that surpassed all expectations and lived well beyond its average lifespan. She is shocked to find out that this is actually the 14th goldfish that her mother has replaced, so that Ellie would not be heartbroken by the death of each goldfish. This small piece of news quickly becomes irrelevant when one day, Ellie's grandfather shows up at her door as a 13-year-old boy. Ellie discovers that her grandfather, Melvin, has discovered a unique species of jellyfish that can reverse the effects of aging. Melvin is a scientist who has been studying this topic for years, and he finally had a breakthrough that reverted him back to a 13-year-old boy. He now must survive middle school with his granddaughter. They attempt to get back into his lab to retrieve the miraculous jellyfish, so Marvin can reveal his amazing discovery to the world. After hanging out with Melvin, Ellie discovers that she really likes science and may want to follow in her grandfather's footsteps. After bickering and disagreements, Melvin finally realizes that if he shows the world his discovery, it would change life forever and cause more harm than good. They both start to realize that the special part of life is that it has an end, and it's special while it lasts. One of the meaningful quotes that I pulled from this story that would be great to teach students about how scientists work and how they persevere is as follows. Average people just give up at the obstacles we face every day. Scientists fail again and again and again, sometimes for our whole lives, but we don't give up because we want to solve the puzzle. This quote comes from Melvin as he's trying to explain to Ellie how scientists work and how they don't just give up because they have a failure. There are many ways that you can connect this book to content area science. One of them would be to discuss the important scientific concepts that are discussed within the book. It talks about the life cycles of different animals and humans, talks about the process of experiments and how you have to try again and again before you make a discovery. It discusses the characteristics of living organisms. In addition, the book also talks about the discovery process and how public opinion isn't always positive when major discoveries are made in the science world. That would be a great discussion to have with your students. The book also talks about many notable scientists in history that your students may have never known about before. Some of the scientists that Melvin tells Ellie about include Louis Pasteur, who made the first vaccine, Marie Curie, who was the first woman to win a Nobel Prize, and J. Robert Oppenheimer, who worked on the Manhattan Project to create the first atomic bomb. All three of these would be great starting points so that students can see who different scientists are and how they impacted the world we live in today. This book has many great starting points for introducing numerous science topics that could lead into separate units. I thoroughly enjoyed this book and think it would make a great resource in any classroom library.